Hello, Morongo Basin and listeners around the world online at Z107.7fm.com. Here is the Z107.7 local news for Friday, September 1st, 2023. A verdict was expected to be returned this week in the Arthur Davies trial. However, a late-date development yesterday has the jury adjourned for the weekend to avoid a possible deadlock. Online news editor Robert Hayden joins us with the update.
The jury in the Arthur Davies trial came back Thursday near the end of the day, informing Judge Christopher Polone that they have not been able to come to a unanimous verdict. During deliberations on Wednesday and Thursday, the jury posed questions about the two charges, first-degree murder and involuntary manslaughter. State Attorney Charles Sway and Defensive Attorney Zulu Ali worked with Judge Polone to return instructions to clear up possible confusion between the charges. Davies can be found guilty of first-degree murder or second-degree murder if the jury believes he killed 17-month-old Parker Schumacher without premeditation. The charge of involuntary manslaughter would be applied if they believe Davies did kill the toddler, but he did not intend to. In an informal poll, 11 of the 12 jurors, including the one juror who says they are possibly deadlocked, said they believe further instruction and information could help, with multiple jurors saying there's always hope. If the jury had not come back with the possible deadlock, they would be in session this morning. However, Judge Polone says he hopes the long weekend will help move the jury toward a verdict, and because of several jurors' plans for the long weekend, the trial will be adjourned until Tuesday. It's possible that if the jury remains deadlocked and can't come to a unanimous decision, the trial for the 2018 murder could be retried with a new jury. Reporting for Z107.7 News, this is Robert Hayden.
County Sheriff's deputies from the Morongo Basin Sheriff's Station conducted a warrant sweep in 29 Palms on Wednesday that led to 8 arrests. A warrant sweep is a proactive operation that seeks to locate and arrest subjects with outstanding warrants for various crimes. The sheriff's office did not say what the initial warrants were related to. The sweep brought on additional charges, including resisting a peace officer, possession of a controlled substance, and possession of drug paraphernalia. The arrestees were either booked at the Morongo Basin Jail or site released, depending on the charges alleged against them. Last night in Flamingo Heights, more than 36 people showed up to hear an update on Flamingo Heights 640, the proposed 75-unit glamping resort that Los Angeles investors want to see established, overlooking pristine Pipes Wash. They received the promised update and more. Reporter Mike Lipsitz was there and files this report.
Organized by Justin Marino's SaveOurDeserts.org in conjunction with the Glamping Task Force, created by Chris Clark of the National Parks Conservation Association, attendees were eager for answers. Some they got, others they didn't. What no one really expected to see were newly revised renderings of the proposed site as it exists today and what it would look like if the project became a reality. Back in March, the County Planning Commission effectively denied the original plan by failing to vote on it. Now, under appeal, the questions of when and who will decide on the appeal, either the Planning Commission or Board of Supervisors, remain unanswered. One thing is certain: once who will decide and when is made public, those opposed to the project have the best chance of defeating it through organization, strategy, and timing. Copies of the newly released before and after project renderings may be found with this story at Z107.7fm.com. Reporting for Z107.7 News, this is Mike Lipsitz.
Let Tortoise Rock Casino fulfill your unanswered prayers tonight with Garth Live, a tribute to Garth Brooks. Tonight's show features all your friends in low places, and you'll be able to party till tomorrow never comes. This free concert series, called Live at the Rock, is running every Friday and features a fantastic tribute band that will be playing hit songs at the casino's outdoor stage. All shows begin at 8 p.m. at Tortoise Rock Casino in 29 Palms. For a list of upcoming acts, see this story at Z107.7fm.com or visit tortoiserockcasino.com. The friendly, all-volunteer staff at the Copper Mountain Mesa Community Center invites you to join them for their first Saturday community breakfast tomorrow morning, between 8 and 11 a.m. at the Copper Mountain Mesa Community Center, located at 65336 Winters Road in North Joshua Tree. They'll have wonderful breakfast and locally roasted coffee from Desert Rat Roasters. The matter of once wild peacocks terrorizing a neighborhood was the subject of an official public hearing in 29 Palms this week. On Tuesday at 10:30 a.m., a number of residents of the Adobe Circle area were invited to participate in the public hearing to determine the fate of the peacocks. Their origin, as relayed to Z107.7 by 29 Palms Animal Control Supervisor Rick Boyd, was as property of a motel in the area known as El Adobe in the 1930s. Boyd explained that the motel closed and the caretaker of the property eventually passed away in the 1990s, leaving the descendants of the original peacocks to fend for themselves. Over the last few decades, the peacocks have slowly migrated toward 2 Mile Road. There are accusations that were discussed at the hearing that a woman had been feeding the birds, bringing them closer and closer to homes and wreaking havoc. Boyd said that the birds were perching on cars and roofs, leaving feces, and getting aggressive with residents. After receiving numerous complaints, letters were sent to residents to determine what should be done, and the whole of the city was invited to the hearing.
Sure. So what happened at the public hearing? We had a lot of our citizens came in, which was great. We just kind of listened to both sides just to see where people were, if there was problems, and we just wanted to see what the residents thought. We had the hearing and came up with a couple solutions, and everybody kind of agreed to the couple solutions. So one solution would be to keep the peacocks up there, but build an aviary, a nice big aviary, and keep them up there. There's about 6 up there right now. There's 6 peacocks up there. The next one would be find a farm for them to live on.
Boyd explained that those 2 options were being considered this week, and that a final determination as to the fate of the peacocks would be made early next week. When asked if perhaps the resident could simply stop feeding the birds, Boyd said,
"But the thing with peacocks is that when you start feeding them, when anybody starts feeding, same with other wildlife, when you start feeding them, that's their home base. So now instead of peacocks or coyotes or bobcats, whatever you have, if you're feeding them at a home base, they're going to continue to come to this home base. Home, your mom, your dad, and they're coming for food. So even if they were to stop feeding peacocks right now, that's still home base, and now they're going to be, where's our food? Where's our dinner? Where's our breakfast?" So that's how that works. So even if they stopped feeding them right now, it might be a good municipal code to put into place in the future, no feeding of the peacocks. But we've never had a problem with the peacocks. We have that with, the coyotes, the meat eaters, and also the pigeons. You can't feed the pigeons.
Stay tuned to Z107.7 next week to find out the fate of the 29 Palms peacocks. We'll bring you updates as we hear them. And finally, blood is desperately needed in the Morongo Basin. To that end, Livestream will be holding a blood drive tomorrow from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Center for Healthy Generations, located at 57121 Sunny Slope Drive in Yucca Valley. Healthy individuals at least 15 years of age may donate blood. Donors receive a free mini physical. Please set an appointment by calling Livestream at 1-800-879-4484 or visiting lstream.org. That's our local news. Hear local news 7 times a day, 7 days a week at 7, 8, 9, noon, 4, 5, and 6. If you hear news happening, let us know about it. Email us at tips@z1077fm.com. Reporting for the Morongo Basin News Leader, the award-winning Z1077 Local News, I'm Jeff Harmetz.